Today we dive into some recent gaming news, some mystery topics, and we give you some of our hot takes. All this and more, we got you covered. This is Nerds with Mics.
Hey,
Hello,
you did it that
I did it.
time.
Hello and welcome to episode 170 of Nerds with Mics. I'm Travis.
I'm Jared.
And no Justin today. He had a scheduling conflict. He was working from home and was not going to be home. We're not sure where he is, but if you're listening, Justin, we love you.
Yeah, working from home and then just not home when we need him to be working from home.
I guess that is true. I didn't really think about that. But anyways, we have a great episode for you tonight. We're going to be, it's actually going to be kind of random. We're going to cover some gaming news, but then the rest of the topics are all going to be completely at random. We'll see how it goes. We're going to do some hot takes and we're going to do some mystery topics. So we'll see how it goes. I always kind of like going into stuff blind, but
we're doing it live.
We're doing it live. But before we get too far into that, let's start by what we always talk about, what we have been up to. So, good sir, tell our audience what you've been up to.
So, not a whole lot. So, biggest thing, which I'm not sure if I'd say the biggest thing, definitely not taking up the most time of mine throughout the week, but something I know Travis and I and Justin as well have been kind of catching or been able to keep taking advantage of and talking about every week is Severance, which this week's episode was nuts.
This is like the second episode that he hasn't been here to talk about.
Hold on, sorry.
Yeah.
Work phone call from one of our recently promoted.
Ah, okay. Well, he's just gonna have to deal. Well, anyways, I'll go ahead and go through my week. How about that? So
well, I'm done already now. So Severance.
Oh, okay, go
ahead. Travis and I were talking about before we get on the podcast. I went from a 49-inch monitor, Samsung ultra wide, to I am now running a dual monitor setup again. So I am running a 32-inch horizontal and a 27-inch vertical, which going back to the more simple dual monitor setup, I'm a big fan of. Other than that, PoE has still been playing a little bit of that. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is fantastic. Travis, if you haven't got to play it yet, I highly recommend.
I have not.
Civ 7, which again need you to play Civ, Travis.
Yeah,
we'll talk you into it. It's pretty. I mean, I'm not going to say it's great. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It definitely has a lot of room to grow. The biggest thing I have to complain about it, and it seems like it's what a lot of people have to complain about, is it definitely feels like the UI for that game was heavily developed for console. So playing it on PC, it definitely, you can tell it wasn't really meant for it. But other than that, it's not too bad. It definitely has a lot of room to grow. Prefer it over how we got Civ 6 at the start of it. Still, it will never compare to Civ 5 in my opinion, but they have done a lot to get rid of the micromanagement that a lot of people didn't like, so it's a little bit more just kind of do your thing, build your city, and there's a lot less to like small stuff to have to worry about. Then other than that, it was a heavy week for gaming. A lot of good stuff came out, but I had to go back to work as of Sunday. Things have went relatively smooth so far, but getting back in the swing of things and just trying to get back into everything I need to do and everything I missed throughout the week. So
yeah.
But then other than that, Travis, it's up to you.
It is up to me. So I had recently moved. What's funny is I moved across the parking lot from my last apartment into this apartment. However, it was not as easy as it sounds because I had to move down 3 flights of stairs. And wouldn't you know it, I picked another apartment that was on the 3rd floor again. So I had to move down 3 flights just to go back up 3 flights. So that was one of the reasons that we didn't record last week, is I just was not in a place where I could record. So I apologize for that. But now I'm mostly unpacked. I'd say I'm about 65% unpacked. I do have my work desk set up, so I was at least able to get my computer and everything hooked up so we could record this week. Been watching Severance. Last week's episode, to your point, was crazy. I'm sure Justin is probably yelling at us for not talking about it more in depth, but honestly, I don't really want to because I don't want spoilers for that because that's the kind of show I definitely don't want to like ruin it for somebody. You know
Yeah,
what I
and
mean?
like I could never do this with Severance, especially. But if there's somebody out there that's waiting to for an entire season to
To
come out or something
binge.
like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I've also started, which I don't think you've probably watched this show, but the fourth season of Mythic Quest is out, and I have been.
that keeps popping up on my Apple TV recommended. I probably need to watch it. It's probably a type of show for me, I would guess.
It is good. Yeah, it's about a game studio. It's good. It kind of has Silicon Valley vibes almost. If you ever watched Silicon Valley, if you didn't, then you won't
I
get that
did watch
reference.
Silicon Valley.
I finally beat Path of Exile 2 on Cruelty, so I can now move on to doing maps and in-game content. During my move, Jared has left me behind. That's okay because now he can pull me through some maps. So I'm excited about that. I assume that
I
you
wouldn't go
finally.
that far. I'm definitely glass cannon, so
I'm assuming you finally got your character to a place where you started to enjoy them because I know you were getting pretty frustrated there for a while.
uh,
Once you saw my character, you were like, "Nah, I don't want to do this."
the biggest thing for me is right now, and anybody who hasn't played PoE probably has played a game where it's like this before, but I'm kind of stuck in a position now where I just have to grind out maps until I get currency so I can be able to afford the gear I need.
Yeah,
Because the currency exchange on that game is fantastic for one, but I just need to be able to get the gear I need and then I'll be golden. Like I'm at the point now I can buy any piece in the game because of my level. I can't afford it.
yeah, for sure. The economy is kind of wild how that works. I also watched Sonic 3. I hadn't watched Sonic 2, so I watched Sonic 2 like a couple weeks ago, and I watched Sonic 3. I think I finished it yesterday, and it was pretty good for what it was. It was fine. Um, and then for those of you, I can't remember if I updated everybody on my surgery, but I have a date for my surgery for my ear. That is March 12th, is when I will be getting the thing removed from my ear, and hopefully it will make my hearing feel better and me feel like I'm a little bit more balanced. I've been having recently some bouts of vertigo, which I'd never had before. So that's real kind of trippy. So
Good. That's
hopefully
on
I
a Wednesday too, so you'll still be able to record.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you looked that up. Thank you so much.
Don't you
Can't
worry.
can't miss an episode for sure.
At
Um
Justin.
yeah. So that's really the updates with me. I know we have a little bit of news to get into, and I think you had the first piece. So why don't you go ahead and let us have it, sir?
Yeah, so I'm not sure how big you are on Siege, Travis, Rainbow Six, that is.
That's
I know you
that is
like
a
the older
Justin.
Siege games, which
Oh yes.
I really wish Justin was here so we could talk about this as well. We don't have much information out of it right now, but a couple probably about a week ago we got started hearing rumors of Siege getting a major update or us getting a Siege 2. Right now, EA says that, or I'm sorry, the Siege studio has already said that there are a couple things that people should be looking forward to on the 16th when this announcement comes out. They said it's a lot of stuff for lore, but a lot of the rumor mills are saying that it's going to be an announcement for Siege 2 or at least some type of teaser for it. We don't know if anything's going to be, if it's just going to be like an update to Siege 1, if it's going to be a full new game. We don't know any of that yet, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see, especially Siege is a live service game, so we've gotten updates to this point is who are we losing, who's going over to the next game if there is one, stuff like that.
So that game has been out almost. So it came out December 1st, 2015.
Mm-hmm.
That's how long that game has been out, which is crazy to think about. I would think it's about time for a new version of that game. Do you think they'll go like kind of like what Overwatch did, where it'll just be like a fresh coat of paint and some new characters here and there? Or do you think they'll actually overhaul it?
I don't think they'll be able to overhaul it just because I can't say it that way either because there's competitive Overwatch as well, but I just don't know if there's going to be a way that they can do it without pissing off an entire community of esports players the same way.
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah, I mean, I look forward to it. Yeah, I used to play a lot of Rainbow Six back in the day when it was like New Vegas, or is it New Vegas? Rainbow Six Siege or Rainbow Six Vegas, I think, and then they have Vegas 2, I think.
I think so. I think you're right on that.
Yeah, I used to play a lot of those. Those were really fun. The hostage escort missions were always the best. Um, anyways, so let's see here. Let me. What is that, Jared?
You read it correctly.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry about that. All right, so how about we alternate stories? So I'll go to my story next if that's okay.
Go for it.
Um, all right. So, for those of you that watch the Video Game Awards, you may have realized that they announced a new Elden Ring game. It's called Elden Ring Nightreign. That's the one that's specifically made for like full time multiplayer. Invitations are actually starting to go out for the beta for that, and that's actually one thing that I forgot to mention. One of the things that I did was I played the Monster Hunter Wilds beta this over the weekend, which was pretty cool. So I played that as well. Let's see here. So for that, the playtest invites are currently being sent out. The playtest will be available on Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and it's going to be from February 14th to the 16th. Good luck playing on the 14th on
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. Um,
Let
while
me
many
give
aspects
everyone
of
listening a piece of advice. Don't do that.
yeah, don't do that. That they're trying to get you. They're trying to trap you. While many aspects of the title remain a mystery, Night Rain will focus on co-op gameplay. Obviously, with regular Elden Ring, you used to be able to call in people to help you with fights and stuff, but it was kind of limited in a multiplayer aspect. This seems like Elden Ring co-op Elden Ring mixed with like it almost feels like Monster Hunter a little bit with some of the fights that I saw. So, did you play much of Elden Ring at all?
I beat Elden Ring.
Oh, let's
So yes,
go.
played a decent bit of it.
Did you play the DLC?
I did not play the LST. I've not played Shadow yet.
Okay, okay, got you. All right, over to you, man.
So, other one is I know we talked about live service games a couple weeks ago and how we kind of wish that instead of a live service game, there was a point where we could just get actual full fledged games at launch. So, this story came up whenever I was looking through some stuff to talk about today, and it made me super happy. So, apparently, last week, EA CEO said that players crave live service games. This happened right before the release of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which the director of that game studio says made all of its money back in a single day of launch. So I don't think that live service is what everybody wants. I think good games are what everybody wants.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, that's super interesting. I really do want to try that. I really do want to try that game though. Um, you're really having a good time with it?
Yes. So I mean everything it now what I'm going to tell you if you've never played this goes not just for you Travis but everybody listening is everything in that game is punishing because you start off with nothing. So trying to get gear is you have no armor, no weapons, and you will just get murked if you're not careful. But then, most games like that, most RPGs, Skyrim, for example, you just think, oh, I'll go steal the gear I need, right? You just don't get caught and nothing will happen. With this game, you go steal gear. If you wear that same gear back into the town you stole it from, they will recognize it as something that was reported stolen, and you either have to pay for it or fight your way out. So, for example, someone posted on the Reddit for this game the other day is they said the only thing the title said is I think I'm cooked. And it showed that they had a like two like so the way your dialogue options go is you have different things. So like you have threat, courage, honor, whatever, right? And those will affect like your chances of your dialogue being successful. He had no options to talk his way out of it and owed the guard 40,000 of the currency to make it out, and he had like 300 of the currency.
Oh,
So, and then what happens if you can't afford it? You actually get put in a stockade where you lose food, you lose health, and you lose your sleep because you have to keep track of all those things in the game. But then you still get to keep stuff, which is nice. But the game is very frustrating at start because you have nothing and you can get murked by anything. And there's so much like little stuff in that game that's easy to miss. Like getting a horse is you can completely miss getting your horse back. And the way that game
Oh.
starts is it's really good, it's really enjoyable, but it's very punishing.
Oh, okay. Well, sounds like I'll need to play that when I'm in a good mood, and I
Uh,
don't want my day ruined.
yes, that is correct.
Okay, so I have a couple more stories. I'm just going to roll through the rest of mine because I think I have quite a bit left. But if you're cool with that,
Yep.
so I did want to take, even though Justin is not on the pod, I did want to bring up his article that he wrote. So he had mentioned
Travis, I shall
that.
return. I
Okay,
apologize.
now you're good. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen here. I'm actually gonna pull up the article for Justin's web on our website here. For those of you that didn't know, we actually have a website, nerdswithmics.com. Obviously, if you go here, you can actually see articles that Justin's written. I've actually wrote a couple, but we also have just an aggregate news feed that comes through as well. So if you obviously go to the home screen, you can actually check out, the articles and stuff that we've had brought into here via RSS feeds. But we actually have a review section where we write reviews for games. And I'll be honest, Justin, out of the two of us, are the writers. So with that being said, he's definitely written way more than I have. However, I did want to share that he wrote a review for Indiana Jones, which is cool to see. I've noticed a little theme that Justin hasn't really rated many games. Out of all he's reviewed, he's not really rated many games under a 9. Surprising, I know. But yeah, so he talks a little bit about going through this article. He talks about the gameplay. He says specifically that punching Nazis has never felt better, which I thought was really funny. He talks about the gameplay, the exploration. He talks about how good the visuals are. He refers to it as a cinematic feast. And then talks about the story and how Troy Baker steals the show. Obviously, for those of you that don't know, Troy Baker is the one that voices Indy in this game, which he's even received some praise from Harrison Ford as well, which is not an easy task to do, I'm sure. But if we just want to quickly read the conclusion here, Justin says Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a triumph, offering a near perfect blend of action, exploration, and storytelling. It respects its source material while carving its own identity, thanks to the sharp gameplay and Troy Baker's magnetic performance. It says, while a few technical hiccups remind you it's not a flawless artifact, the adventure is too exhilarating to pass up. For anyone who's ever dreamed of donning a fedora and cracking a whip, this is your golden idol. And I don't know necessarily if if I agree with the fact that Indiana Jones wears a fedora. It's a leather hat. I wouldn't say it's a fedora, but he says it's a thrilling adventure that rivals the original 3 films, and he rates it a 9 out of 10. So there's that. But the one thing that I wanted to show you, if I could find it here, yeah, let's see here.
It's definitely not a
Uh,
fedora.
yeah, it's
Definitely
not
not a fedora.
definitely not a fedora. But what I find that is funny is, let's go here to view all of Justin's posts here. What I find funny, let me see if I can find out how I got back to where I saw them. Hold on.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so you got 9 out of 10, 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 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I don't think he reviews anything that's bad. I think the lowest I saw was maybe like a 7.5. Yeah. So, or a 7, But here lately, all bangers, baby. But anyways, so yeah, so how far did you make it into Indiana Jones? Did you end up finishing it?
So that's my problem. I haven't, and again,
Even
sorry, I had to
started
step
it?
away for a minute there. No, I've started it. I've probably played through 2.5 hours, give or take, and I haven't had a chance to. I don't want to say I haven't had a chance to go back to it, but there's been so many other games that have come out that have kind of taken my time from it.
Yeah.
I mean, like if we look at, I'm gonna pull up my Steam real quick while we're sitting here talking about it. Like, I mean, PoE at this point, I have 40 hours in PoE. I've put an entire work week into PoE.
There you go. There you go, baby. For a game that you didn't think you were gonna like. What do you think of that?
Correct. Kingdom Come, I've already put 6 hours into it since it's come out. And then Civ 7, I've put 8 hours into it since it's come
Have
out.
you did any multiplayer matches yet?
On
Civ?
yes, Kanan and I started one, Trevor and I started one. I did run into a bug whenever I was playing it with Trevor, so that one was not too fun. We started a game, got pretty like maybe 20, 25 turns in, and then the game kind of bugged out on me and I wasn't able to do anything, so I couldn't pass my turn. The
Bugged
one game I
out.
forgot to
No
mention that
pun
I
intended.
was yeah. One thing I did forget to mention that I've been playing a decent bit of was we were fortunate enough that someone in our household, shout out to Justin, purchased Sniper Elite for us, the new one, and it's actually pretty good. I've been really enjoying the Axis invasion portion
Is
of it.
that the is that the mode that you and I played where somebody invades you?
Yes.
Oh
So
God, that
I've
mode
just
is
been
so stressful.
I've just been dropping into random people's like I've played the first campaign mission, and then other than that, I've just been dropping into people's campaigns and hunting them down.
It's
It's
so
so good.
stressful. I can't remember. Can you do that with more than one player? Like, can
So
you and I do that together and then two other people drop in, or how's that work?
you can co-op the campaign together, but you can't invade other people's games together.
Okay. Okay. I
Which
think we were doing the Axis stuff. We were facing each other, weren't we? That's what it was.
no, you and I were playing the co-op campaign, and somebody dropped in our game and murked
Oh,
both of us.
that's right. God, that was the worst. And they kept killing us too.
Yeah, because we kept trying to rematch, and it did not go in our favor any time that we
No,
rematched.
it did not. It did not. Um, but yeah, so so is there anything else you want to add about Indiana Jones? Because there's two more pieces of news I got.
I mean, from what I've played from it, it's really good. Like, it definitely pays a lot of homage to the movies, which I'm super happy they did it that way. But other than that, I don't really feel comfortable saying more until I've played more. So
That's fair. That's fair. All right. So this piece of news is really for you. I saw it and I was like, oh, Jared would probably be excited about this. So you talked about Delta Force and how much you love Delta Force. So they revealed that they're actually going to have a Black Hawk Down campaign. And the release date is actually right around the corner. It's February 21st is the release date. Team Jade has stated that Black Hawk Down will be a paid DLC, but they haven't listed a price yet. So kind of curious of what that price is going to be, and then also how long that campaign mission would be.
we've known it was going to be a thing for a while because ever since Delta Force got it's like I think if I'm not mistaken, even whenever it was in beta, it had it listed on like the game options. You just couldn't actually click it to play it.
Yeah.
Um, they've done a lot of stuff to update that game so far too, which makes me happy they're putting as much work in it. Like the multiplayer is really good. Um, they added an extraction shooter, and then we're getting this Black Hawk Down campaign, which Delta Force is honestly, I think, a reason that Battlefield is doing so much with their playtesting stuff and like so much of like wanting community feedback.
Yeah.
Because I honestly feel like if Delta Force just keeps doing what they're doing with multiplayer, that it will be a contender for Battlefield.
Okay. Yeah, I want to check it out for sure. I haven't played it yet, but I do want to try it out. It looks good, and
It's
I
free, so
if you know what, might as well try it out then.
might as well.
And then the last piece of news I have is, oh, speaking of which, I meant to ask you, DLC. Did you go back and play the new content for Warhammer yet, by chance?
No, I did not realize there was new content for Warhammer.
They've dropped all kinds of content, baby. You should check it out.
Definitely going back in then.
Yeah. February 12th will be a big day for PlayStation fans. PlayStation's first State of Play presentation in 2025 will go live Wednesday, the 12th. That's actually tomorrow from when we're recording. The State of Play will run for over 40 minutes, and it will focus on the spotlight on the upcoming PS5 games. Some of the things that are expected to show up: Death Stranding 2, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, I guess is the full name of that game. Ghost of Yoti, or Yotai or something like that.
That's
Marathon. What?
I'm excited for Ghost.
I'm excited for Ghost. I'm also excited to see what more details on Marathon, because that's obviously the team that brought us Destiny. And Marathon was actually their very first game, so they're remaking it essentially. And then Lost Soul aside, and more such games will be featured, obviously. Other than that, but those are the big contenders they're expecting to see. Is there any updates that you would like to see? I mean, I know you're more of a PC player, but is there any specific PlayStation games you'd like more of an update on?
I mean, really, I'm right there with you. Ghost and Marathon are kind of the two that I'm most excited for. Ghost, just because Ghost of Tsushima was fantastic.
Did you
Uh,
beat it?
I did. And then it was just, I beat it twice, actually. I beat it once when it first came out, and then I went back and played it again on black and white, and
Oh, the noir
even
style? Yeah.
it's even better. Um, and then Marathon, I knew that was a game that I knew that was their first game because I remember watching a video whenever it first got announced. But I'm like you, I'm more excited to see what they've got going on with it because the teaser really kind of like piqued my interest. Just it looked nice. If it looks anything like that in the gameplay, I think it'll be a pretty game
Yeah.
for one, but I think it'll be interesting.
Because that was one thing that I always enjoyed about Destiny, is I always felt the gameplay mechanics were great in regards of like the gunplay and all that type of stuff. So
Hmm.
I'm hoping a lot of that stuff carries over to Marathon, because that, and obviously the environments are a big deal inside of Destiny too. So I'm hoping that Marathon also kind of has those grand scale like maps and stuff like that. So we'll see. All right, so that is just the news. So let's get into some random topics here. We'll see how this goes. So go ahead and hit me with a number between 1 and 50, and hopefully it's not one we've already done.
25.
25. We've actually already done that one. Do you prefer multiplayer
26.
games or solo? 26. Uh, Oh, do you prefer? So when it comes to video games, do you prefer co-op or player versus player in your experiences? You're probably going to say team shooters. That's what you're
Can I
going to
just
say.
say both?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you just like the multi. You prefer a more multiplayer side of the game, right? Would you take
I
multiplayer over a single player experience?
see, like that's where it's tough for me because like a lot of like my fond memories with like, I mean, you for example, I have fond memories of us together like in person, but obviously playing video games is a big portion of how we know each other, right? And I don't ever want to sacrifice like the friends I've made and like the memories I've made through multiplayer games. But then again, there's something like I don't think that any multiplayer game I've seen has ever told like this. I take that back. Like I think it's much harder for a co-op game to have the same level of depth of a story as a single player game. Like you think, I mean, Call of Duty World at War is one example, right? Like the campaign was exactly the same, but it was still written for a single player perspective. So like anything that happens, it's meant to happen to a player, but there's just two people there. Um, but with single player games, I mean, Red Dead, Ghost of Tsushima, I don't think I would ever want to give those up either. It's kind of where I
Yeah,
struggle.
yeah, no, that's fair. I think when it comes specifically to multiplayer, I prefer a co-op experience versus a player versus player experience. Now, I can get down on player versus player experience if like we're gaming on the same team, but like I just like I have a hard time as I've gotten older just playing like strictly multiplayer games. Like I could drop I could drop in with like a duo in like Fortnite, and even though we're fighting other people, like as long as we're still playing together on the same team, like I prefer that. I prefer a co-op experience versus just like a multiplayer, just everybody versus everybody experience. Personally, that's just me. I've always been that way. I've always preferred more of a co-op experience.
I guess if
Personally,
we're calling that co-op, I would have to say co-op though, because I'm like you. Like I won't just like which I haven't touched Call of Duty in months at this point, but whenever I was playing COD, like I just wouldn't launch COD just to play a multiplayer game like I would used to. Like
yeah,
if I'm playing with somebody, sure I'll play some multiplayer, but I'm at the point now where I won't just go play multiplayer to play multiplayer.
Yeah, it's like I've wanted to try Hell Let Loose forever,
Oh,
but that's not a game that I'm gonna
please.
jump in by myself. You know what I
I
mean?
you just let me know when you want to try it, and I will happily make time.
Yeah. Okay. Deal. Um,
It's
you love it so much.
I love it so much. PTSD simulator.
Oh Lord. All right. So I'm gonna pick a random number between 1 and 50. I'm gonna say 42.
Oh, your
Uh,
age.
no, I'm not 42 yet. I'll be 41 in March though.
Nah, you're like 47. I forgot.
Have you ever seen somebody get really angry when they lose? I think you and I both know.
Yes, and I think you and I are thinking of the same exact person. And
Our
that person listens to this podcast. You know who you are.
Oh, does he listen to this?
He does.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna say his name, Cameron. I'm not gonna say his last name, but Cameron. As soon as I read
I
that
can say his
question,
social security number, his email password.
I could do a countdown.
Uh,
But yeah, I have never seen somebody rage so hard in a video game than that kid. So much so that like I was convinced that like he was gonna have an aneurysm, honestly.
and it I think the worst part about it for
Mostly
me is like
Valorant.
if a game makes me that angry, I just won't play it anymore. But he swears it's the
He thrives.
best game. Like he swears that Valorant is the best game ever and will go get angry and pissed off and keep going back for more. He's a glutton for punishment.
He really is,
You ever
honestly.
seen you ever seen Vegas Vacation, Travis?
Of course.
Valorant is the blackjack dealer and Cameron is the guy who just keeps going back for more.
Yeah, yeah. I heard there might be a Vegas trip.
I would love for that to happen.
Yeah. All right, well, let's do one more of these and then we'll get into our hot takes. So give me a number between 1 and 50.
43.
Wow, you went right after me, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good one. What is your favorite video game series of all time?
Ooh, series?
Yeah,
I mean, I've got two. I mean,
that's fine.
Red Dead. I would consider like we got two of them at this point. Like Red Dead One is one of the like first single player games I ever played on my 360, and then Bioshock has to be my other one.
Ooh, I was not expecting that from you.
I love Bioshock. Um,
Yeah,
Same
I want
thing.
another
Like
one.
I would love another. Oh God, if they would do it with the graphics and capabilities we have today. Oh, like Bioshock Infinite, which I know is kind of a sore spot for a lot of people.
It's a little
But
racist.
yeah,
It's a
um,
good game though.
it
The
is a
rail
good game.
system, everything
Yeah,
about it.
that was the first one I ever played, and then after
You went
that, I think
back.
it was after that they released the remastered versions of it, and I went back and played through all those, and it's just a series like. I love the lore. I love the gameplay of it. Like you said, the rail system in Infinite was just a lot of fun. And then as far as Red Dead goes, it's just one of the best stories I think I've ever played in a game. Just both of them.
Yeah, I think for me it's a toss up between the Legend of Zelda series, just because I've played so many of them. But then honestly, I have a hard time picking between that, and I know I was very late to it, but the Mass Effect trilogy.
See, that's one
Um,
I've never played.
you should go back and replay. You should go back and play it with the definitive edition. I do believe that is available on Steam, but
Do we own it? Since we all
I
live in the same house, do we own it?
I do believe so. But wait, it might not be on Steam because it's EA. I have to double check. But anyways, it's so good. You have to push your way through the first one because the mechanics are a little dated at that point. But once you hit two, it's smooth sailing. But the consequences in that games and just like just the weight that they carry and just the multiple endings and just like it in the sci-fi vibes, it was just really really cool. You're looking to see if we have it, aren't you?
Maybe.
I don't think we do.
They Mass Effect, is it the Legendary Edition?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's on here. Very positive reviews, very positive all reviews. And I
yeah,
don't think we own it, and it is $60.
yeah. So that's a wait for a sale. But yeah, you should definitely check that out. That is well worth the money if you can catch it on sale. I think it's like $20 if you can catch it on sale sometimes.
Well,
But
that's not bad.
it's the best version of the game because it's obviously like the definitive edition essentially.
What it said in the
Um,
description said it came with 40 different DLCs. So
oh yeah, it's everything. It's wild. But yeah, that would be it for me. Let's see here. Let's do okay. I feel like we answered this one already. Have you ever pretended to be sick to get out of something so you could play a game? Did we talk
we
about that last
we
week?
did we did not last week, the week before, but we definitely did talk about
Yeah,
that, and
yeah.
we were all guilty of it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Um, let's see. If video games didn't exist anymore, what would you do? Guess
Watch a
watch
lot
more
more
TV.
movies.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Um, yeah, dude, I don't know. Oh, okay. Let me ask this one, then we'll move on to hot takes. What was your favorite game from your childhood?
I
I'm talking like before you're a teenager.
Oh yeah. Um, I would honestly have to say, and it's just because like it's the game that I have like the most fond memories with because like I remember. So I'm a big World War II history buff for anybody who doesn't know, but I have always
You
been a
gonna say
World War
Medal
II
of
history
Honor?
buff. Medal of Honor front lines, and I just have like that was I remember playing through that on PS2, and it was one of those things. And like my grandfather who passed away a few years ago, it's just whenever I think about that game, I think about him because it was always one of those things like he would watch me play it, and I would all it was Medal of Honor Frontline specifically. I would always like nerd out about the World War II stuff to him that I did know whenever I was however old when I was when that I was playing that game. But I just remember like he and I would just he would sit there with me and watch me play it. And every time I think about that game, I think about him, and I just have very fond memories of that entire game
Yeah,
and that like just those moments.
yeah. I like that. That's good. I think for me, probably in a similar vein, just because I remember playing them growing up with my dad, was three games, and they were all Super Nintendo games: Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Super Punch Out, and Super Metroid. Those are the three games that like we also had like this casino game that we would always play together. But honestly, just the Super Nintendo in general had the most games that I remember having the fondest memories with growing up. Because we played those games together, and I think that was the point where I started to become a gamer. You know what I mean? Because I had like NES and stuff like that before, but like I think that was the moment where like I was being taught like, especially on like Metroid, because you like go here, you save here, you have to go back and backtrack on maps and stuff like that. And it was probably the most advanced game that I had played at the time when I was a kid. And I think that's where I very first really started to understand and learn, the mechanics of games and stuff like that. So for me, it was just the era of Super Nintendo and a lot of the games on there. And my dad was a big bowler. He bowled leagues all the time. So we even had like a Brunswick bowling game where him and I would just constantly play together back and forth. So that was fun. And then it blew his mind when the Wii came out. We could do Wii bowling, and that was like next level.
Wii bowling is a magical thing. So is Wii baseball, but
Which I never really went back and tried to play Switch Sports. I don't know if it was is good or not, but I never really tried it.
I don't. I think we own it. I don't think. I think I want to say I played badminton on there a few times, but I don't think I've played very much since. I just don't think it had the same like allure of Wii Sports.
Okay, I like that. All right, so let's get into this. We're gonna do some. Let's see here. It's gonna be some hot takes. Okay.
Oh God.
All right. So this is all gonna be at random too. So there's 6 categories. I have all this stuff prepared that we've never used, and now we're just gonna use it. All right. So you don't know what the categories are, but I need you to pick a number between 1 and 6, and that will determine the category. And then I need you to pick a number between 1 and 10.
4 and 7.
What? Oh, okay, 4 and 7. All right, so that's pop culture, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I'm so scared.
Video games. Video games are the highest form of art in the 21st century. What do you think? That's a pretty big hot take, son.
Oh man. Like I feel like no matter which way I answer this, I'm gonna be angry at myself.
That is
So
that's a good one.
I'm gonna say yes for
Okay.
what is currently out there. Reason being is I don't so I don't what we call art now, as in modern art. There's nothing wrong with it. If it's your thing, it's your thing. But a majority of modern art is not my thing, right? And music, sure, you can gain attachment to music. Movies, you can go through a story and it can tell you a story and stuff like that. But being able to interact with the story and trying to, like, video games are able to pull you into them. If it's a good game, it can pull you into it and make you get attached to a character. And when you're attached to a character in that way, movies can do much of the same, but you don't get to make any decision that affects that character. You're in the passenger seat, buckled in, and you're just along for the ride. Video games, where I think what makes them the highest form of art that we have is it puts you in a position as someone in control. And when you're trying to protect that character or whatever you're trying to do, it gives you a position to where you get more attached and where you have more of a reason or even
The
more of an
stakes seem
attachment because
higher.
the stakes seem higher. Thank you. And I think that's the biggest thing for me of why I'm going to say yes is just because, don't get me wrong, I love movies just as much as the next person. I love TV shows just as much as the next person. But no matter how good a story is that a movie can tell, if you took that same story and put it in a video game and like you were able to make the decisions and that affects the overall outcome or affects your character, I just think that much it adds that much more to it.
Yeah, I would say that I agree with most of that statement. I would say it depends on the game. Like I can't sit here and say that all video games are a higher version of art.
That
You know
and
what I
yes,
mean?
I 100% that yes, add that to my statement as well.
When I think about experiences like The Last of Us, when I think about experiences like Mass Effect, when I think about the games that consequences have weight and you become attached to the characters, and if something happens to the characters, you feel. To me, it's a stronger pull that I feel as opposed to when I'm watching it on screen, if that makes sense. Especially if a decision that I made led to one of the characters that I care about either getting injured or getting killed or whatever. You know what I mean? Um, so yes, I think that also all boils down to like it all boils down to like, are you a gamer? Because like if somebody reads this question and they don't play video games, then absolutely that's not true for them. You know what I mean? But as somebody that is a gamer, I think that plus I feel like we see more original stuff in video games now than we do original stuff on film currently,
Yep.
if that makes sense. So
And
I
like
think
to go along with your point too is like so we've all been in this boat. I'm sure you have, Travis. I'm sure you agree. You ever watched a horror movie and you're setting your and you think to yourself, "Well, that was a dumb decision. I wouldn't have done that." Right? And then you look at games like oh, the names just left me, but I forget the studio that makes them, but the ones who make like the decision-based horror games. Um, you know who I'm talking about? They had The Quarry and stuff like that that came out.
oh yeah, yeah. It's not Quantum Realms, is it? I can't remember who it
Might
is,
be
but I know who
Quant.
you're talking about. They
But yeah,
also did like Until Dawn and all that.
yeah. So like that studio, that's where for me it makes a lot more, right? It's just because every decision you make has weight on if those characters live or die. Which you can put
Yes.
that into a movie, but then as an audience member viewing a movie, it's just like you're in the passenger seat, you're just watching the world go by.
Well, I know one of the first times I ever had an experience um, where I really felt the weight of my decisions in a game come to to hit me hard. Did you ever play the game called Heavy Rain?
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah. So
Yeah.
did you ever play the game called Detroit Become Human?
Did, that game messed me up. Let me tell you.
So that like those I think are prime examples of how like video games can be a higher form of art because like those is like everything. It's almost like you're playing an interactive. It's almost like a choose your own adventure type story.
Have you ever seen the map for Detroit Become Human of like all the alternate endings?
The branching,
Let
like
me
yeah,
see if I can. I don't know how to pop that up here. We'll figure. Some point we'll pull it up, but it's the
all you should
amount of
have to
this.
do is hit share, and then you can pick the tab that you want to share, and then you'll just have
Okay,
to
I'm
drag
gonna
it,
put. But all
show
the
on screen.
decisions are absolutely insane, and it's not even like what you would consider a large decision is the only thing that affects it. It is every decision you make affects it.
Yeah, are you gonna make it?
I'm trying. I was trying to talk and type at the same time, and it was not
That
working.
is no bueno.
I was really struggling. I don't want the Reddit post about the flow chart. I just want the flow chart.
Yo, flow chart. Yeah, it's pretty wild though. I need to go back. I never actually beat that game. I beat Heavy Rain. I beat the other one that came after that. I can't remember the name of it. Beyond Two Souls. Was that it?
I think it was Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah. So I played beat that one, but yeah, I didn't play a ton of Detroit Become Human.
So the main flow chart is just going to show fugitives. So that's really not going to give you the full thing. But to give everyone an idea, and look it up if you want to, the shortest video showing the entire 100% complete flowchart is 18 minutes.
Oh brother, that's crazy. That is wild. All right. So I think I'll do one and then after that we'll move on. So I'm going to do five and then I'm going to do seven as well. Let's see here. One, two, three, four, five, six. All
I feel
right.
like we're playing
So
Jeopardy.
I like this though. This is fun.
Yeah, we
Justin's not
definitely
here
can't
for
do
it.
it when Justin's not here because it's fun.
I know. All right. So uh Saturday morning cartoons were the golden age of animation and nothing today can compare. Facts.
I mean, I'm going to agree. I prefer Saturday morning cartoons. Like, new cartoons are just,
They're weird.
they're
They're
weird.
so weird. Like I think I said this on the last episode, but my girlfriend and I we spent one morning. It was a Saturday morning. I don't know if it was Saturday morning. It might have been a Monday morning. I can't remember. But anyways, we spent the morning just streaming all the old cartoons and TV shows that we used to watch as a kid. And I was streaming obviously like Spider-Man, X-Men. I was streaming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Batman. She was streaming like Scooby Doo. We had Saved by the Bell. We had all kinds of stuff. And it's like I started to think about it, I was like, anything I tried to watch today just seems strange and foreign to me compared to
Well,
what
that
like
and
I
like
was used to.
even so, like shows that were even out whenever I was younger that are still being made today are weird from what they were whenever.
Yeah, it's like you would prefer to go back and watch like a like MASH, for instance,
Oh,
right?
I love MASH so much, so
I know
much.
we talk, but and she's the same way, like Hogan's Heroes, right? So like it's like, and I don't know if it's the whole like rose-colored glasses, you know what I mean? Like it just like it's nostalgia for us, so maybe like that's why we feel the way we do about it. But I've tried to watch some new stuff, and I definitely can't get into anime. Like I just
I've tried. Now. I will say there are two animes that I've found that I have enjoyed. One I finished, and one I'm in the process of watching. Cowboy Bebop is a very short, very easy watch that is really good.
Okay.
and then I'm watching through Attack on Titan right now, and
I heard Attack on Titan is pretty good.
it's so
The,
far I'm really enjoying it.
the closest to anime I've ever watched was back in the day. They came out with
Avatar.
one called no Afro Samurai. It was like a short, I think, but it
Well, I don't
had
know. Is
Samuel Jackson in it.
Samurai Jack considered an anime?
I don't know.
I've definitely watched all of that. Samurai Jack is great too.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that does it for hot takes. I think, unless you're wanting to do any more, but
Let's
I
do
think that
one more. One more.
okay.
I'm kind of
Bef-
enjoying these, especially since we're not going to be able to do it next week because Justin will be here and
I know. All right. Give me one between 1 and 6.
one
Okay.
and
That's video.
four.
That's the video game category. So good job.
Woo!
Uh, this is not really a fun question though.
Okay, one and
Um.
five.
Okay. Better. Actually, these are all.
Oh God, what have I done?
Esports will surpass traditional sports in popularity within the next decade.
No,
I don't think so. I think that's an easy one. Absolutely not.
no. There's no, and if it does, I will be disappointed with us as a society.
How about this one? Microtransactions in full price games are unacceptable and ruin the gaming experience.
Microtransactions, yes.
I think anything outside of just purely cosmetics.
That's what I was about to caveat mine with. Like, even then, though, like cosmetics, I don't think it should be. I don't think you should be able to charge me $20 for a skin.
I especially
Or,
don't think live service games should have microtransactions. If
like,
it's a
I'm
service you're
okay
already paying
with.
for.
Yes, I agree. And one thing that really bothers me as well is when you can't just purchase a cosmetic, you have to buy their currency to purchase the cosmetic. And there's
Yeah.
never a way to just purchase the amount you need. So it'd be like $5 worth of currency, but you have to buy the $10 pack for it. Or it's a $15,
Well, yeah.
but the currency would be $15, then you have to buy a $20 pack of currency.
Well, let me tell you my new frustration.
Oh
So
boy.
obviously, Path of Exile 2, been great. Best early access game I've probably ever played.
I think I know where this is going.
It's $30, right? It was $30 on Steam. It was also $30 on PlayStation. So that's $60 right there. I decided, you know what? I like it. I'm enjoying this game so much. I'm going to go ahead and just upgrade to the supporter pack on PlayStation, which was another $30, but it gave you like 300 gold and it gave you all these cosmetic skins and all that stuff. Well, when I get on PC, it says, oh, these cosmetics were bought on a different platform. So even though the game supports cross save and cross play, it does not sync your purchases between the two.
So, from what I've read, and
They may fix that. I don't know.
it's not a PoE thing, it is a
Is it a
Sony thing
Sony?
because Sony are greedy.
I just don't know how that's possible because it's their in-game currency that I
It's
spent.
apparently it's because you bought it on Sony's side. Sony doesn't want anything purchased.
So if I would have bought it on the Steam side, would I have been able to equip it on my PlayStation
I
side?
think so.
I have to look because I did buy a pet on Steam. I'll have to see if I have access
Yep.
to it on. Okay. Well, that's frustrating, nevertheless. Thanks, Sony.
I thought you were going to talk about buying stash tabs for a second.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing, but that's fine. That's neither here nor there.
I mean, now one thing I am okay with that on though is you have to admit the stash tabs are useful for one,
I
but
would give them
two is they're
300 gold if they would give me a button that I could press to automatically organize my inventory.
fair enough. But the stash tabs aren't pricey either. Is my
No.
biggest thing about it. Like they could easily like say, oh well, you want a premium stash tab so you could sell stuff on our website. Sure, it's 1,000 gold, and then you
Yeah,
have no option if you want to be able to play the game because currency is such a big part of that game.
it
And
is.
but it's 30 gold, 45 gold, and it's like you get 1,000 gold for like $20 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I think we're done with our hot takes.
And
Unfortunately, I think
especially
it's
like with PoE, I think it'll be fine because if you wait, it's going to be a free to play game when it fully releases. So
Yeah. Yeah, and evidently the new the 0.2 patch is on the horizon, and there's a lot of rumors that they're going to introduce two more classes, one being druid, the other being the huntress, I think. So,
yes, and I know you haven't been there for the group we typically play with to talk about it, but I'm pretty sure that, and I'm sure you're included in this, I would guess so, but we've all pretty much agreed the Huntress is out of the question. We're all playing Druid, so.
yeah, I don't even know what the huntress is, but yes, I want to play a druid for sure. That's my favorite class to play in D&D, so,
If you
you know,
get a moment before you go to bed tonight, take a look, and if you look up PoE2 Druid, a few months ago they actually released a class
trailer,
description of
right?
it. Yep.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into what we are looking ahead and forward to. So I'll let you start. Go ahead. Yours is real simple, it looks like.
Real simple, and I see you stole mine when you were making your notes, except you couldn't even type out the full word. But looking forward to spending Valentine's Day with my wife. She unfortunately has to work that day. Somehow it worked out to where I was off this week, but I think we're going to try to grab dinner and then see what we can get into. But it'll be a fun time, as it always is with her.
Clap cheeks. So for me, looking forward to Valentine's Day. Oh no.
Oh,
Marley,
what have you done? What have you
Marley,
done?
hey. She woke up from a dead sleep on the couch, and now she's Marley. Come here, baby. Oh my
You
god, I can't believe
apologize, Travis. Apologize now.
Marley, I'm sorry. Come here, baby. Come here. Poor baby's sleeping. Hi, baby.
Get her up here on camera. Oh, you've got your background on. Can't.
I can't. Marty. Yeah. She got a bath today. I don't think you'll be able to see her. Mama,
See,
what are you
I
doing?
can't say that word in front of my dogs or they freak out and run for the hills.
Can you come up? No, she won't come up. She's getting old. She can't really jump up anymore. It's unfortunately a sad moment. But anyways, so Valentine's Day, I'm looking forward to that as well. I've come up with a pretty cool idea for the day. Well, not the day after. I won't get to spend much time with my girlfriend on Valentine's Day actually, because she has a standing thing with friends, and I do not want to get in the way of that. I'm also looking forward to surgery finally getting here. It's like 28 days away at this point, but it feels like it's forever. I'm ready to just
28
get
days
that.
later.
Oh yeah, ready to get that over and done with, and just hoping that goes smoothly, and not a whole lot of side effects from it. And then I'm looking forward to vacation. I was talking to my mom today, and I think we're going to try to all get together and go on a family vacation in April. We were trying to think of where to go, and somewhere that's kind of halfway. And I told my mom, I was like, I know it's like the beach without water, and everybody in West Virginia either goes to Gatlinburg or they go to Myrtle Beach. I was like, so how about we go to Gatlinburg? So, because Amelia has actually never been to Gatlinburg before. So
Oh, is she a
her brother
fan?
lives her brother lives in Chattanooga, but she's never actually been to Gatlinburg. So, we'll go sample some moonshine and hang out.
Go to the random aquarium that's in the middle of Tennessee.
I wonder if the Hackville McCoy dinner show is still happening there.
We were there. Well, it's been a while since we've been there. It was when we were there. As
Yeah,
far as I
so
know, it's still open.
yeah, so looking forward to that. My mom was already looking at some cabins and stuff, so we're gonna try to look into that. But pretty excited about that. So, all right. Also looking forward to longer days and warmer weather. How about that?
Yes, I'm tired of the snow. It's currently raining and snowing right now, so I'm over it.
Yeah, it's currently raining here. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into our picks of the week. Mine might be a repeat, but there's a reason for it. But I'll go ahead and let you go.
So I actually I'm going to go pick of the week I have listed first, and then I have another pick of the week, which I never thought that I would say that this would ever be a pick of the week or something I would root for. So I will happily explain that here in a second. My first pick of the week is Kingdom Come Deliverance. Again, played a lot of the first game. The story in this game is great so far. They changed a lot of stuff that people didn't like, but left everything core the same that everybody loved. And number two is, before I say this, I just want to point out that, oh, other side, right here behind me, I want everybody to read that sign. That is my team. But I do just want to say, pick of the week this week as well is the Eagles. because I cannot stand Kansas City, and that was an amazing performance you put on, putting a smackdown on Kansas City. Thank you.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the Super Bowl actually. Now I'm sitting here thinking about it.
Yeah, or that
Don't get me
Seal
wrong.
commercial.
Oh yeah, that's nightmare fuel. So I saw Terry put in his Instagram story. It was like not a retweet, but whatever you do on Instagram. But anyways, it said it was a picture of Seal as a seal, and it says what recent Marvel movies look like. I was like,
It's not
I mean,
wrong though.
I was like, that's fair. That's fair. I was looking up. I was looking up the reviews for this Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and it looks like it's doing pretty well. It's 9 out of 10, 90%, 8 out of 10. Looks like it's doing fairly well.
Yeah, I
So
was
good for
talking
them.
about being excited about that to our not the Justin that typically does this podcast with us, but our other friend Justin. And he goes, "It was a bad game when the first one came out," and I was like, "It was not a bad game, but whatever you want to believe." And then the next thing I sent him was I just screenshotted the reviews of Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, which were a 9 out of 10 and then a 4.1 out of 5. So,
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it's good because I know that a lot of people really like the first one. So I'm glad to see that the
I
second one's doing well.
if you want a good story game, it's and the way they did like your character setup is I really liked how they did it too. So instead of just like where most games would go and just give you like put your attributes where you want them and send you out on your way. The way that this game does it is during the prologue before you're able to do anything else. It's you have this little group you're going after your first objective with, and it starts you off sitting around a campfire in camp, and they're asking you questions about like to tell them stories about something you did in your past, and each one of those affects your attributes for the start of the game, depending on how you
Yeah.
choose to answer.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out for sure because we have it on Steam, right?
Mm-hmm. Because we all live in the
Uh,
same house.
yeah. Is that game isn't co-op, right?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. All right, perfect. All right, so
Perfect.
my
Didn't want to play with you anyways.
well, no, because on Steam you can't play a game at the same time. So I just want to, if it was co-op, then I would have to buy my own copy. I didn't want to do that. So, but anyways, my pick of the week is actually a repeat pick. It continues to be my PlayStation Portal. I obviously, since I had beaten Path of Exile 2, I decided to move on to something else until I go back and I can run maps with you all. I decided to start up in Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I've actually been playing a little bit of that. I need to actually pause that and go and finish Last of Us 2 because I keep forgetting I need to finish that game. But it keeps allowing me to be able to play these games outside of my house, and the experience honestly has been nothing but good for the most part. I mean, unless I'm somewhere where the internet's not great, it's a flawless experience for me. So, I think, for what it costs, as long as you have a PlayStation and you have a hardwired connection to your PlayStation, it's well worth it. You probably end up. I never actually heard. Did you end up keeping yours or returning it?
Nope, still got it. It's sitting in there on my nightstand right now. So, that's what I was about to say. A shout out to you for the advice on the portal. As much as I hate to admit it, I have not played much PoE on it. I've still been playing majority of PoE on my PC,
Yeah.
but I haven't honestly streamed a lot to the portal for my PlayStation. I've been using a lot more of the
The
PlayStation
PlayStation
Plus,
Plus,
where
the
you can
games that are already on there,
yeah, where you can stream straight to the portal.
and that's been a
Because
good experience. Yeah.
oh, for streaming straight to a handheld, like not having to install anything, load times when you first launch a game take. I mean, it doesn't take a long time, but it takes a little bit longer than what I'm used to. But that game, like just being able to play Ghost of Tsushima, for example, was one of the first games I launched because I wanted to see how it run, and it runs flawlessly streaming a game, even as heavy as Ghost of Tsushima.
And it brings over all your saves and stuff. So like even if you're playing like the cloud version that's not from directly from your PlayStation, it lets you resume your status, which is really cool. But yeah, I think the only thing that I wish it had is I wish it had an ability to stream from my PC. That's the only, which I know it will. I know it won't ever have that capability. But like if it had like Steam Link or the ability to do Moonlight and be able to stream from my PC, then it would honestly be all I would need. You know what I mean?
Now, I will say I am guilty. I have hooked my PS5 controller to my Apple TV in my bedroom and used Steam Link to play PoE while laying in bed. So,
instead of using your portal.
That was before I had my portal. So.
Okay, yeah. I mean, even that works really well. But you can also there's a PlayStation Remote app for the Apple TV as well. So you just download that and use a PlayStation controller and play in there. Yeah, so if that's your main goal, you just put your AirPods in, hook them up to your Apple TV, and just go to town.
Best feature of the Apple TV right there, by the way.
Saves a lot of marriages from what I hear. All right. Well, anything else to add before we blow this popsicle stand, as the kids would say? I don't think any kids say that.
I don't think any kids say that.
All right. Well, this was episode 170 of Nerds with Mics. I want to thank everybody for listening and watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the little notification bell on YouTube so you can be subscribed for when we come out with new episodes. And more importantly, please make sure to like and review us and also share us with your friends. Until next time, this has been Nerds with Mics. Peace. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Nerds with Mics. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into all things nerdy, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please make sure not to forget to leave us a review wherever you listen or watch. Your feedback always helps us grow. And if you know a fellow nerd that would love the show, share it with them. Until next time, stay nerdy, stay awesome, and keep those mics on.